Hello, Peter. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you very much, Larry.
You're welcome. You're welcome. Glad to have you here.
Yep.
And I was wondering before we get started if I could ask you to do a quick promo for this podcast episode. I just
Yep,
sent
sure.
I just sent you a quick thing in chat.
Okay.
Anytime you're ready.
Hello. I'm Peter Purves. If you don't know the name, you probably know the character I played in Doctor Who many, many years ago, which was Stephen Taylor. The original Doctor, William Hartnell, was my partner in crime, and I'm looking forward to chatting to you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much. I'll go ahead and get started, and we'll just jump right in. And I know we've got limited time,
Yeah.
so
Now,
yeah.
one check. Are you recording this to use the picture or not?
Yes, I'm doing both.
You're going to use the picture. Okay.
Yeah, just for the probably just for the promotion.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
So we're good there. Okay, great. All right, we'll go ahead and get started. It's time for our main story, and my guest really needs no introduction, but he is a member of one of the first classes of Doctor Who companions and traveled with the First Doctor. Let me repeat that for my listeners. The First Doctor. He also presented Blue Peter for 10 years and covered the Crufts Dog Show for 41 years. Please welcome to the podcast, Mr. Peter Purves. Welcome, Peter.
Thank you, Larry. Welcome.
Thank you so much. I met you a couple of years ago at Chicago Tardis. I don't know if you remember that.
Yes, I remember. Yeah.
Oh, fantastic. Because I just remember our conversation led to the reconstruction of an episode called The Feast of Stephen from the Doctor Who, from Dalek Master Plan, which you had never seen at that point. And I remember trying to
That's
find it.
true.
And I found it for you and sent it to you some years ago. I don't know if you ever got a chance to watch that or.
Well, if not, something went wrong with the communications because I never got it,
Oh, you
I
know
would
what?
have looked at it because I have never seen it. I mean, the Feast of Stephen as an event, as an episode of Doctor Who, doesn't exist.
Correct.
So whatever you sent me, I never saw it.
I'm going to send it.
I can't remember that I saw it.
Okay, I will send it again to you because I remember
Thank
that
you.
a place, kind of a group of people called Loose Cannon put together what's called a telesnap recreation. And so they took,
Right, I've never seen, I haven't seen that, and I do
oh,
know
okay.
Loose Cannon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and so they
yeah.
have it. I have it bookmarked, so I will forward that to you on Facebook. So that would
Thank
be,
you very much.
oh, no
That would be
problem.
great.
Oh, fantastic. I want to start off with a recent project and a little plug here. Recently, Vinyl Who released the Celestial Toymaker
Yeah,
original TV soundtrack with linking
yeah.
narration
I
by
have it on
you.
my shelf up here. Yeah.
Yeah, I just got it, and it's not it kind of hasn't reached the United States officially yet. I get things a little bit ahead of time because of what
Yes.
I
Yeah.
what I do.
Yeah.
But tell us about this project. How did you get to do this?
Well, I didn't have to do anything for it. If you remember, all the
Oh,
original soundtracks exist of all the episodes I was in.
hmm,
Unfortunately, the visuals are missing for the majority of them.
yes.
17 exist. The remainder of the 46 I did don't exist. So, I mean, I didn't have to do anything. They just reissued it. Um, I think they may well have also used, and I haven't listened to it. I'm keeping mine in pristine, original wrapped condition. I've got several of the vinyls. I'm not listening to them. I know what's in them. Um,
Okay.
I'm assuming that the tracks that they are using have uh, the commentary that I did with the wonderful Mark Ayres over here, who created the audio collection. So all the episodes of
Okay.
mine, the original soundtracks, have also an additional commentary from me covering all the visuals. And I suspect that that will be what's on that vinyl. I wait to be advised differently, but I would think that that's there. Yeah,
Well, I always get two, so I can open one and listen to it, and the other one is staying completely
yeah.
sealed. But I'll let you know,
Thank you.
because
Yes,
I
thank you.
it happens to be the Celestial Toymaker is one of my favorite stories, and I've seen the one existing episode and I've read the book, and I think it's just a tremendous story, and it's really sad that the three episodes don't exist anymore because
The one episode that does exist is really rather good. It's good fun.
yes, yes.
Yeah,
It has you and Jackie Lane, of course, going against I can't Cyril, I believe,
that's
and
right, Cyril.
you're trying to get through an electrified maze to get
That's right.
to the
That's the
TARDIS,
one.
and
Yeah, it's a good story.
that's a great story, and you're great in it. It's in fact that whole that episode where you're wearing the striped shirt
Yeah, yeah.
has been an iconic photo of you. That
Oops.
yeah, the loops, yeah, that somebody even made an action figure of you on Etsy with that costume.
Oh, I've got. There are a few of
You
those
got them,
around.
okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah. Yeah.
So that's one of my favorite stories. I'm going to go back to your first story for a moment. I know many Doctor Who actors have expressed their opinions.
Yeah, keep talking, Larry.
Sure.
Keep talking.
Many Doctor Who actors have expressed their opinions about working with the Daleks, and of course, your first story, you jump right into that. So,
Yeah, yeah.
how did it feel as an actor working with Daleks?
I thought they were rubbish. I mean,
So you shared the same
the,
thought,
the,
yeah.
the point that what I do remember is that I saw the first episode where they ever appeared,
Mhm.
and I watched that serial. And I remember watching the serial where they trailered the fact that the Daleks were coming again, and
Mhm.
it's quite a chilling moment. However, in the flesh, you've got half a Dalek with a guy sitting in there who wheels it around, and they're pretty cumbersome. They occupy a big chunk of the studio. The studio has to be designed in such a way to allow them to be able to move around, together with the cameras and everything else. It was, don't forget, we did it in a continuous run. We recorded from beginning to end of each episode, no breaks, no official breaks. There were occasional times when we did have to stop for special effects, but basically it was done as live, and that was quite a challenge. So it was just a question of being precise with them. But I mean, I enjoyed the fact that we had the wonderful Peter, oh, for goodness sake, his name's just gone, you'll know,
Yes,
doing
yeah.
his voice, and David Graham
Peter Hawkins.
doing those.
Peter Hawkins.
Peter Hawkins
Yeah.
and David Graham doing the voices, and they're just offset with a distort mic doing the Dalek voices. So I mean, it's all a bit absurd. So as an actor, you just get on with it and do it, and what ends up on the screen is what you see. Now you don't see any of the rehearsal and how it works,
Mhm.
so it works. But to perform with it, it's just purely a functional operation. No fear, no terror at all.
Okay. Well, that's good. Interesting. You had that feeling because
And don't
yeah.
forget, I played Morton Dill first,
Oh, I was getting
and
to that. Yeah.
I'm the only person to take the piss out of the Daleks and not be exterminated. I mean, there's
I
so
I
why should I fear them?
I found that to be one of the funniest quotes I read online was that Morton Dill, I think it was one of the, there was a list online of the cringeworthy moments in Doctor Who, and Morton Dill was number one, and said that if anybody deserved to be exterminated, it was Morton Dill. And
I think my performance deserved a kinder comment than
I
that.
do too. I do too, because when I,
It's
of
meant to be
course,
funny.
it is. It's hilarious. And I didn't get to see the William Hartnell stories until the early 90s when they came over to the United States. And I remember, as somebody I've been watching Doctor Who since the 70s, and I've been following it very carefully. And I saw it for the first time and I go, that looks a lot like Peter Purves playing that part. Of course, we didn't know at the time. And I'm like, and later I'm like, oh yeah, it was. Oh, that's great.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
what a tremendous change in character, because you did Morton Dill one way, and of course at the end Stephen Taylor completely different,
Yeah.
and kind
And
of
no one seemed to notice. No one commented at the time. God, that's the same guy.
yeah. I
Nothing,
mean,
nothing.
and,
So
and,
they were
and
different enough.
And of course, the cowboy hat was iconic, and that photo still goes around Doctor Who as far as hey, the legend of Morton Dill. Maybe that
I think he deserved a series of his own.
I think so too. That could be the next thing, the continuing legend of Morton Dill coming to a theater near you. And I thought,
If I'd realised that I was auditioning for Stephen Taylor, which I didn't realise,
right,
but that performance was my audition piece,
yes,
and I say I had no idea. Had I known, I suspect I would have done it very differently.
yeah, I think that's interesting. Because when of course, reading it happened so long ago, and I'm reading about it now, saying that was your that the director really loved that performance and thought this was going to be a good thing for Stephen Taylor. And Stephen Taylor, of course, goes on for 46 episodes of Doctor Who, which is really quite something. And of course, bringing him back, 36 releases for Big Finish. Did you ever think that Stephen Taylor would come again after the run ended in '66?
Oh no, no. I mean, in fact, I never really cared much about Doctor Who after I left it. I mean, I watched occasional episodes, but I didn't realise it was still going to be important in my life now. Uh, and it was only when I did the recordings with Mark Ayres
Mm-hmm.
that I remembered a lot of what I'd done. Because, I mean, why would you? It was a job. That
Right,
was then.
right.
Years had passed. No one had talked to me about it. I'd been invited to a couple of conventions and hadn't gone. Eventually, when I went to one and found the response that I got for just being there, I mean, staggered. I thought, my
Yeah.
word, this is amazing. I
Well,
didn't
yeah.
expect that. I mean, I'm not particularly popular in America because I've only been there a couple of times, and
Mhm.
most of my episodes don't exist. And I mean, I can remember talking to a very nice lady at I'm not sure it wasn't Chicago. It could well have been, but I suspect it was Baltimore. Um, Came up to me and said, "I'm trying to get my son interested in the classics, but every time I put in a video and it's in black and white, she thinks the television's broken." So, I mean, you're on a loser, really, trying to sell these as an idea.
Yeah, and that's and it's for me personally. I started when I started watching Doctor Who. John Pertwee was my doctor back in the
Mhm.
'70s, and I understand he was a good friend of yours too.
Yes, I
Um,
knew John very well.
so and I got to meet John in 1984 when he came to Chicago. And I remember the second year I did a Doctor Who convention, I looked through that big list of people. They brought over 20 actors. Unfortunately, you were not one of them. Maybe you were invited and said no back in the
No, I
80s.
wasn't.
You
I
were not
wasn't
invited.
invited. I think the first time I came to Chicago it was about 2004, something
Okay.
like that.
So that would have been Visions or Chicago Tardis in
It was
2004.
Chicago Tardis, I think.
Yeah,
It might have been Visions. I don't know. I mean,
it could be.
yeah.
Yeah, it's and I thought it would have been nice because I even my feeling in '85 is like, wow, we're missing Stephen Taylor, we're missing Vicky, we're missing this. It'd be great to have. We had Patrick Troughton and all those folks there, and I thought it would be nice to have more of the first Doctor because they didn't have very many people from that
Yes.
era.
Interestingly, I'm doing a convention over here in the UK. It's a 1 day event only.
Hmm.
But there's Colin Baker, who, of course, is the sixth Doctor.
Yes.
There's Sylvester McCoy, and there's me, and there's Maureen, and there's Caroline Ford for a start as well. So the first Doctor is well represented. So I keep on being asked here, and it's very nice, and I do enjoy them.
Oh, that's great. That's great. And speaking of the first Doctor, what was your working relationship with William Hartnell like?
Oh, I loved working with him. I mean, it's he really was responsible for me getting the part
Hmm.
because he was very concerned that Jackie and Russ were leaving, uh, and they'd been with the shows from the very start, and he was really concerned and unhappy about that. The third day of the rehearsal for for my Morton Dill piece.
Hmm.
And I'd got on terribly well with him and everybody on the cast and with the director, Richard Martin. We just hit it off. We got on well. Um, and they liked the humor I tried to inject into Morton Dill, whether or not it was any good or not, I don't care. That
Right.
was
Right.
them. But I did my best and I got on really well with them. And Maureen O'Brien went up to Bill on that Wednesday and said, Bill, I know you're worried that Jackie and Russ are going in 3 weeks, still not got a replacement. What about this boy? And she said that it was like a weight came off his shoulders because he had been worrying about it seriously for some weeks, and they hadn't got a replacement. And so he went to Verity Lambert, the producer, and said, "Take a look at this boy." And they did. They watched me on my performance, the rehearsal performance on Thursday. Went into the studio on the Friday, watched me carefully, presumably. Saw how I operated live, virtually as live, on the performance which was recorded, and immediately offered me the job. So I mean, it was down to Bill. So he obviously liked me. So I obviously found my response to that was that I like him. I got on extremely well with him, and he was generous in his performance with me. He liked the things that I did. He occasionally take me on one side and say, "That gesture's too big. Oh, you're doing." He said, "Television's very small. Keep your hands near your face." And I was doing big stuff,
Right.
and he said, "No, just be careful of that." Nice little bits of advice which I've never forgotten, and I normally will try and put them into practice, whatever I'm doing. So I got on with him extremely well. Thoroughly enjoyed working with him. He used to forget his lines. Maureen O'Brien and I used to stand around at times waiting for him to get back on script because the tape didn't stop, even if he was getting it wrong.
Right.
And so, it wasn't easy, but he was good fun. He had a great sense of humor, which most people seem to not realize. He really had a good sense of humor. And when he's doing little bits of comedy in some of the episodes that remain, I think you can tell that he is a good comedian.
Yeah, I was going to mention because in my this segment of my podcast, I introduced with an audio clip, and that audio clip is a clip of William Hartnell saying, "Those are the doors. Up there is the scanner. That is a chair with a panda on
That's
it, and that is to you." And I thought, that's going to introduce this segment. And I thought that was one of my favorite lines. My other favorite line is in the Time Meddler when he picks up the Viking helmet and says, "What do you think this is? A space helmet for a cow?" And I still think that is the funniest stuff I've seen on Doctor Who. And I've watched all of them. And I thought, well, that's a great line. And I still remember it.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I mean, there are some involuntary ones like I prefer I prefer walking to any day than climbing. What? I mean, it's not 100%. I think I missed a word out in it, but he just often would get things wrong, and he fluffed lines, which made on set you had to suppress the chuckle. But
Yeah,
that was
yeah.
fine. That was just Bill, and to me, it added something. When I've done the big finish things, I've
Mhm.
tried to. I don't do the mistakes. We don't create fluffs,
Mhm.
but we do collect. We do when I perform it. I do put bits of hesitation in, which are were there really because Bill wasn't sure what the words were coming up.
Okay. And then of course I've always in my own mind, I know Stephen Taylor, of course, stays in the episode The Savages.
Yeah.
And I thought that The War Machines would have been a slightly better story if Stephen had continued one more episode and possibly stayed on 20th Century Earth with Dodo Chaplet. And if that were the case, then you'd be on The Power of the Doctor.
Yes. Yes. I mean, it was out of my control. I
Right,
mean, as Lloyd just came in as the new producer, and
right.
as I was handed the scripts of the Savages, he took me on one side and he said, "By the way, Peter, I thought I'd better tell you at the end of this serial, we're not renewing your contract."
Yeah, and of course I know that happened, and it happened
That's
to
showbiz.
it's showbiz. It happened to Jackie Lane in the middle of the War Machines,
Yeah. And
and
she didn't even get a proper exit.
no, she was basically taken off of the country, and then there's a letter. It says I'm staying, and
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
genuine, and I could tell with William Hartnell's performance, even on the War Machine, saying he was very upset to get that, and that his
Well, and he didn't see the writing on the wall that he was going next.
right, right. And speaking of that whole thing too, the movie An Adventure in Time and Space, of
Yeah.
course, was made, and one of the things about that movie is that there was an actor portraying you in that movie.
Well, probably for about two
Four,
seconds.
4.5 seconds.
Oh, thank you. Well,
Four and a
it's
half
longer than
seconds.
I thought. Wow.
Yes, his name
I've
is
no idea who it was.
It was Edmund C. Short, is
Oh,
the
good.
actor,
He
and
obviously did a great performance.
and
Really registered.
the only part of that is the photographer yelling, "Mr. Purves, Miss Lane, over here," and then of course they fade off in the back, and then it's back to David
Yeah,
Bradley and all
yeah.
that. But I thought interesting they brought in, but you weren't there for any of the movie, were you?
Not invited.
Not invited.
I was asked Mark Gatiss, who wrote it. I was invited by him to have dinner with him or lunch with. I think it was dinner we had in a rather nice restaurant in London, and he picked my brains on certain elements about Bill. I didn't see much evidence of what I'd said on the script,
Uh,
but it doesn't really matter. Um, it was an interesting piece. I
yes,
think
yes.
it got the atmosphere of the show right. Um, it didn't get Bill totally right.
Mhm.
He had far more, he had a sense of humor which didn't come over in that at all. We talked about that earlier. Uh, and he just came over as a grumpy old man, which wasn't right. But the
Right.
impression, the overall impression of him
Mhm.
was excellent by David Bradley. I think he did a very good job. And you only can do what you've got in front of you. You can only perform the script that you're given, and he wouldn't have been allowed to change it. So
Mhm.
yeah, it was a pretty good impression, but it wasn't right.
Okay, that's fair. I mean, and of course you were there, so you can
Yeah,
speak to that.
yeah.
And of course, since I do the Doctor Who collecting on my podcast, I got to ask, what are some of the? Do you have any Doctor Who collectibles that no one else would have because you were on the show?
I would
No.
have had it one time, but I threw it away.
Oh,
I,
okay.
I kept the trilogic game from the
Oh,
Celestial
wow.
Toymaker, which I asked the designer if I could keep because it was a lovely piece of kit.
Yeah.
And it was very pretty. It was blue. The
Yes.
letters were white on black discs,
Hmm.
um, and it was just such a good shape. And I had that, and it sat in the corner of my living room, and I used to do it. I mean, I could do the
The
trilogic
trilogic game.
game and
Wow.
complete it, because you mustn't make a mistake. So I
Right.
could do that. It wasn't all that many moves, to be quite honest. It's only 10 pieces you've got to move. So because very few people would ever attempt it or get anywhere near the thing. The
Yeah.
script suggests that it's thousands of moves. It wasn't, but at least
Okay.
you have to get it right. Um, but I decided after 18 months of not getting very much work, in fact, getting virtually no work.
Hmm.
I was driving trucks, I was doing all
Wow.
sorts of things to earn a buck. And so in the end, that's right, I got in sequence, I got a letter from my agent saying, Peter, we can't do anything. We've been trying and trying and trying. We can't move your career on. We think it would help if you got another agent. So I was being fired by my agent.
Oh man.
Uh, I had no work, and I thought that bloody game. There's something about it that I
Uh-huh.
shouldn't have. There's something it's bad luck. And I picked it up and I took it down into the basement of the block of flats that I lived in, and I threw it in the bin.
Oh.
The following day, and I mean the following day, I got a letter from the agent. I got a phone call from the
Hmm.
agents who'd written to me saying, look, we're not going to handle this for you because we're going to stick by what we put in our last letter. But we've had an inquiry from a program called Blue Peter who would like to see
Mm.
you. So here's the telephone number if you want to follow it up. There you go. So I did. Long story short, I got the job.
Yes.
So whether or not it was anything to do with the trilogic game, I don't know. But that's a true sequence. So
I
people can make what they want of it. Deep down, I honestly don't think it had anything to do with it. But at the time, I did. At the
right, right.
time,
Oh
I thought
no.
there was something mystical about pyramids at that time. You could put
Yes.
that someone had produced a little carton which was in the shape of a pyramid, which you could open up. You could put a razor blade in it, close it down, and within a day the razor blade was sharp.
Wow. Oh gosh.
Fact. So they're rather mystical, these
Yeah.
shapes. You know, and maybe that's why the pharaohs had them made way back in Egypt. That might be nonsense, might not be. But anyway, I felt there's something mystical about this game, and it's a pyramid, pure pyramid. It's going, and I threw it. If I'd kept it, that might have been worth something now.
I think you probably could have easily retired on the cost of what that game would have been, because original props from the 60s, and I have a friend
Yeah.
who's got the Trojan horse from the Myth Makers.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you probably know David
What
J.
did he
Howe.
pay for it?
David, no, he didn't.
Oh,
David J. Howe. I don't know if you know him.
I know.
Yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
yes.
he has it.
Yeah, yeah, he's a writer. He's lovely. I like
Yeah,
David. David
yeah,
and Samantha. Yeah, yeah,
he's
yeah,
a,
yeah.
yeah, he's a
Yeah,
good friend, and I asked him what his most valuable collectible was, and he said it was the Trojan horse. He just went to
yeah,
the designer had it in his garage, and
yeah.
so he said, "Oh, you want this? It's just a 8-10
Yeah,
inch
it is. Yeah,
prop."
yeah,
And I said, "Well,
yeah.
yeah, of course." And I said, "The Trilogic game probably would have fetched thousands today."
Wow.
And that's something. I will say though, I do as a collecting person, I get emails from people asking, "Do you know about any Stephen Taylor or Peter Purves related items?" And I said, "Well, I found two items that are actually the most sought after, with your picture on it. The first is a cover of Radio Times from October 17th, 1968. You were on the cover of Radio Times with your guide dogs.
Oh, right. Yes.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's a color photo.
That was when I was in Blue Peter.
Yes, it was a Blue
Yeah.
Peter. And
Yeah.
the other item is the Blue Peter and the Book of Guide Dogs that
Oh,
came
really?
out. Yeah, those are
Well, the
still,
little ones, only
yeah, the little
mini book.
books.
Little
Yeah,
mini book.
they're selling for $60 each now.
Wow.
And
Yeah.
so those are the two items that people keep asking me if I've seen. I've seen the little books, the Radio Times, not so much,
Yeah.
but people do. There are people that are after, that do collect specifically things with
Yeah.
different actors and things like that. And
I haven't got anything. I've never been a collector. I don't collect
yeah,
anything. So my wife did for a while, but not my things.
okay.
I never collected anything.
Well, that's all right. I have to ask. But one other thing I wanted to ask you about too is most recently they did animate a story called Galaxy 4,
Yeah.
which and I thought, how did you feel about your depiction as an
No,
animated
fine. It was
character?
all right. I mean, it's a very basic cartoon.
Yes.
It uses the original soundtrack, so it's genuine. We had a big launch of it here at the British Film Institute on the South Bank in London,
Oh,
and I went to that and I gave a talk afterwards, and I signed a lot of autographs that day. And yeah, it was, and that was shown, the whole thing, all 4 episodes, and people like Gary Russell who'd made it. I mean, he was there. It was a good gathering. I thought it was rather good. It's
yes.
better
Yeah.
than nothing. Let's put it that way. Don't forget, one episode exists. No, it doesn't.
Yes. Episode 3, I think,
Episode
exists.
3 exists. That's right.
Yes.
And that was found, I think, about 6 years ago,
Yes.
something like that.
Yes, I remember I saw it when it came out, and of course that has one of the most thrilling cliffhangers of you in the airlock when they
Yeah.
turn off the air,
Yep.
and
Yep. Yep.
with the
Normally it
drop-ins.
kills people. Yep. Yep.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
It was, and that's a great story. I've read the book. I've seen the story.
Yeah.
It's a great.
No, it works. I didn't like it. I'm not talking about the animation. I didn't like the show at the time because it was my second serial, and Stephen's character didn't only what I could inject in it by being there
Mhm.
was anything to do with Stephen. The script had nothing to do with him or what he was capable of or who he was, because originally it was written for Jackie Russell as
Okay.
as her. Uh, uh, she was the main person for it, and the writer William Ems, and I didn't know this
Mhm.
at the time, had not been told that Jackie and Russ were leaving, so he had to
Oh.
adapt a script which had been accepted for Stephen. So I had to play whatever Russ and Jackie had to say became Stephen's lines.
Interesting.
And it wasn't his character. It wasn't what he did. It wasn't how he played. I was furious. I
Oh,
took it out on the producer. I said, "This is ridiculous." I said, "Where's my character?" There's no, I mean, I don't. I mean, I was new on the show, and so it was a bit arrogant of me, but I was
mhm.
really upset. I consequently never made it up with John Wiles, who was the producer. But it was. I didn't like the storyline. I didn't like the way it worked for Stephen.
Okay.
It's okay, but knowing the background to it, I was really very upset at the time. Anyway, it came good. I played quite heroic parts after that, and great one in the Mythmakers, also
Yes.
in the Massacre, which was virtually led by him, and of course we talked about the Celestial Toymaker, that was led by me and Dodo, because
Yes.
there was no, Bill was a disembodied hand.
Right.
He was on holiday
Yeah.
whilst we were doing the show. He was having a kip.
I'm running out of time, but I wanted to ask, in your career, especially from Blue Peter and doing the dog shows, any great stories from doing the dog shows?
Not really, because they were live, and everything you did was absolute. You had to be on the button. Uh,
Okay.
you didn't want to make mistakes. Uh, there was a wonderful period when I was doing that where we had a guy over here called Frank Kane he commentated with me. I was presenting it with a wonderful lady called Dr. Jessica Home, and we had an American commentator who came over who worked for Animal Planet. And so we made stuff for Animal Planet from Crufts, and that was a great time. And funnily enough, only yesterday I replied to a tweet from Wayne. He's called Wayne Kavanagh, by the way, and I think
Mhm.
he's the president of the American Kennel Club. Or there are two kennel clubs in America, and I'm not sure which one he is the
Okay.
boss of. He's an absolutely lovely, wonderful guy. I like him immensely. And I was just saying, wouldn't it be great for us all to meet up again? And the director who used to direct Crufts at the time, he's tweeted back saying, "That's a dinner party I'll join anytime." And it was, I mean, we had a great time, but it's not a time when there were stories of extraordinary things happening. I mean,
Okay.
the worst that happens is a dog, it's just won the best in show, and it goes into the corner of the ring where it has a crap on the ceremonial run round. So I mean, it's hardly impressive, but
Right.
yeah, there were one or two funny things where dogs did strange things, but not worth me wasting time telling you the
Gotcha.
details. But they happen. Obviously,
Okay.
dogs do strange things.
Well, I've got time for one more question, and I think this is a good one too for you. Have you had the opportunity to give advice to younger Doctor Who actors since you were somebody from the veteran era? Did any of them come to you to say, "Hey, how can I do this?" Or
No, no,
no?
no one's asked. And what can I say? The
Yeah.
important thing is you play yourself. You play
Okay.
what this is the main structure you've got. All
Mhm.
right, you can put an accent on and it gets laughed at, like I did with Morton Dill. But I mean, I was playing something outrageous, and I was meaning to do something
Right.
outrageous. When I played Stephen, I tried to play it pretty much like me. I don't think I was much different from how I am talking to you now.
Right.
Uh,
Okay.
and so any advice I would give to anybody who's acting is don't act. It's that thing. What you can tell when people are putting it on, when it's not real. And I
Right.
learned that, of course, being a television presenter, because once you're there where you have to be yourself, they can see if you're telling it wrong. So
Mhm.
I've got a challenge coming up because
Mhm.
I'm playing. I've just been cast in the lead in a television pilot for a series. It's
Oh wow.
not science fiction. It's great. I'm playing an old guy. I'm playing a guy at least my well, he's probably a bit younger than me, but he's got dementia, and
Okay.
that's a real challenge for me. But he won't be anything. He'll only be me with dementia. It won't be some character that I invent who does weird things. This is going to be real. This is going to be true, and so it's a challenge for me, which I'm really looking forward to. I mean,
Oh,
I love acting.
yeah.
That's where I started.
I'm looking forward to that too. I hope that series comes to BritBox here in the United States.
Well, if it ever does, we haven't sold it yet, but it's
Right.
called Henry House.
Henry House. Well, that's
Yeah.
great. I'll be sure to look for it in any way.
Well,
Anyway,
in fact, you can have a look on something called Rocking Horse Media.
okay.
It's in the UK. Rocking Horse Media and their project. and it'll tell you all about Henry House and who's in it.
Sounds good. Peter Purves, thank you so much for being on the Doctor Who Collectors podcast today. And of course, as my listeners know, we've been raising money to bring you here. And so I want to thank our anonymous donor who basically brought us over the top, and Mr. Melvin Pina, who donated to our cause. So we want to thank them.
Thank you very much. Thank you to them. It's been a pleasure talking to you, Larry.
You too, Peter. Listeners, stay tuned for the most outrageous offer. Peter, thank you so much. This was great.
You're welcome.
I really appreciate making this work, and you're a great guy. I really like you. So it's really.
Well, maybe we'll meet up again sometime, Larry. You never know.
I hope you do come back to Chicago. That would be wonderful. I'll raise a glass to you then. Anyway, I will. I'll let you know when this episode appears. I'll send you the link so that you can promote it.
Thank you. That would be nice. Thank you.
And
thank you very much.
Have a great rest of your day.
Cheers.
Cheers to you, sir. Thank you. Thank you for watching. And don't forget to subscribe if you want to see more of these great interviews on the Doctor Who Collectors podcast. You can find us anywhere you get your podcasts, including Apple, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Pandora, and Podbean. Keep collecting.